5 in the Western Conference between the Dallas Mavericks and the Portland Trail Blazers. Dallas leading in the series 3-1 with Portland not withering under the daunting picture of that 3-0 deficit winning in Portland the other night. And Finley getting the Mavericks underway. Dick Stockton along with Jeff Van Gundy and Craig Sager. And it's a tough road to climb if you're the Portland Trail Blazers who have the ball. Scottie Pippen is in uniform and he is available, and Arvydas Sabonis also in uniform and could play for the Blazers who have been injury-riddled, Jeff.
Absolutely, could be a big help. Whether they'll play will be dependent on how well their starting unit plays to start the game and then again in the second half.
And they played a lot of minutes. 4 of the 5 starters for the Trailblazers played 40 or more minutes in the victory the other night as Dale Davis tied the score, and on an identical play, Steve Nash feeding a cutting Michael Finley, and it's 4-2.
Great strategy by Don Nelson. Michael Finley missed 13 games at the end of the year, not healthy, not producing, runs the first 2 plays for him, gets 2 layups, gets his confidence up. But if you're Portland, you've got to ask yourself, what kind of defense are we ready to play if you get beat on the same play twice in a row? And
the shot missed by Bonzi Wells, and here is Steve Nash coming off a scoreless game for him, and he misses from the perimeter. And as Maurice Cheeks said, it's all about defense, so it's surprising that the Portland Trail Blazers were not effective defensively early on. Here's Dale Davis shooting over Bradley, and it's tapped around, and a loose ball foul will be called against the Dallas Mavericks. Here are the starting lineups for tonight's game, and for the Blazers, Mo Cheeks going with the same and successful lineup. Zach Randolph with 25 points in a career game with Rasheed Wallace and Dale Davis up front, and it's Bonzi Wells and David Stoudemire at the point. And for the Dallas Mavericks, the front court of Dirk Nowitzki, Rafe LaFrentz, and Sean Bradley with Finley and Nash at guard. The foul was against Bradley. Just the start of things here at American Airlines Center in Dallas. No team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs. And here is Wallace for 3, and tipped and saved by Dale Davis into the hands of Zach Randolph.
And that's one of the vulnerabilities of the Dallas zone, is the second shot.
And Randolph missing, so the Blazers ice cold from the perimeter, but great hustling for the loose ball. And we'll have another foul called as Nash and Stoudemire hit the floor, and that will be called against Steve Nash.
Second shot attack. Rasheed Wallace does a good job. He couldn't get a hold of it, so he tipped it. Stoudemire coming in there. Nash is forced to have the loose ball foul. That is one of the great advantages Portland has on this Dallas team, is their ability to rebound the basketball.
And the loose ball. So Portland 1 for 7 to start the game, but 4 offensive rebounds. So this game has been practically a half-court affair in the first 2.5 minutes.
And that's where Maurice Cheeks' decision to start Zach Randolph has really paid dividends. They got bigger and stronger up front, and Rasheed Wallace can shoot the ball well enough from the perimeter to make it work.
They've had some good looks, though, the Trailblazers have, as the Mavericks with the 4-2 lead trying to wrap it up here and move on to the Western semifinals. Nash misses his second, but an offensive rebound by Rafe LaFrentz and Michael Finley. Michael Finley, who is shooting only 40% on the series, hitting the 3 and has scored the first 7 points for Dallas. Nash is denying Bonzi Wells and doing an effective job at that, and Zach Randolph with the air ball. And right now, the Dallas defense has held Portland to 1 for 9 shooting, and Davis getting a hand on it on the turnover. Here is Randolph, and Randolph finally scores, breaking a drought, and it's 7-4 Mavericks.
Anytime you turn the ball over in transition, it usually results in a transition basket for the other team. That time Dallas turned it over. Randolph was late getting back, so he profited by getting an advanced pass and a hoop.
Nash driving in, has it deflected by Dale Davis, and here is a 2-on-1 with Stoudemire, and the pass going behind, and now they go the other way, and it's 3-on-1 now. Make it 4-on-1, and Dirk Nowitzki easily scores.
And there we go again. Turnover in transition leads to a basket in transition for the other team. Stoudemire's got to convert those opportunities for Portland to have a chance to stay in the game.
Trailblazers turned it over only 8 times in their winning effort. on Sunday night. 5-point lead for Dallas, and here is Rasheed Wallace missing from the baseline. And the Mavericks coming out. Mavericks are all about their shooting. If they're hitting the shots, they're going to be successful. If they're struggling, as they were at 37% in game number 4, it's a different story. Stripped away. Damon Stoudemire strips Nowitzki, and Stoudemire out of control momentarily, and now tries to settle down.
But I like the defense Damon Stoudemire is giving him, sticking his nose in there, keeping people in front of him, and that time stripped a bigger Nowitzki.
And here is Davis fighting his way in for the layup. Dale Davis, who had a series high 12 points, and he's averaging 10 rebounds to lead Portland. Finley off to the hard start, continues so. Finley banks it in, and he is 4 for 4 to start the game. And Bonzi Wells knocked down and hit in the face, and a 20-second timeout called by the Trailblazers, and now they signal a full timeout. Action-packed first quarter. Maurice Cheeks, who picked up his first playoff victory the other night, but Finley has had the hot hand for the Mavericks, who lead by 5. Pippen, who went backstage maybe to work and loosen up that knee, missed the last 3 games, played ineffectively in game number 1, and you missed 17 down the stretch with surgery in the knee. Derek Anderson, who got the opening layup in game number 2, and then all of a sudden had arthroscopic surgery on his left knee, so he has not come back and will not. And Arvydas Sabonis, who suffered lower back strain, and he is available tonight. 11-6 the score. Following the timeout, good pass inside to Dale Davis, and the 3-second violation called against Portland as we check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Dick, there's probably some people at home are trying to adjust the hue on their television set, seeing these red uniforms, but the Portland Trailblazers said they're lucky Reds. They're wearing them for the first time since the 1984-85 season. They brought them out earlier in the year in a game in Sacramento. They won that in overtime. More importantly, they wore them here in Dallas on January 26th and won 193. So they're back for the first time in the playoffs in 18 years.
And you know, Craig, it also makes you play better defense when you wear the orange shirts, don't you think, Jeff?
Well, I always used to laugh about superstitions. I always used to say the Bulls look good in any uniform when they were in their heyday. All the good teams look good in their best in any uniform. And then the other teams are always searching for a good luck charm, which is usually a star player.
And Jeff, the Blazers wore red when they won the NBA title back in '77. Here is Finley, misses his first shot, and the tap in by Nowitzki doesn't go, and the rebound by Zach Randolph. Zach Randolph, numbers much more impressive when he started the 11 games this year than when he came off the bench. He likes to start and he wants the ball, but here's Bonzi Wells from the baseline, and Rafe LaFrentz snaring the rebound. 5-point lead for the Dallas Mavericks, who have never lost 4 straight this year and would have to have their longest losing streak to get surprisingly stunned in this series. 9 on the shot clock. Finley going out to Nash, who has yet to hit a shot. Finley with the turnaround, and that doesn't go. Crashing the boards was Bradley, and out come the Blazers. Crowd thinking it should have been a Portland foul. Very disturbed. And open is Davis, and no basket. Foul before the shot, and it'll be the second against Bradley. And here is Scottie Pippen on the stationary bike, and hopefully will get into play. He's had the sore knee, but tell you, when he became the point guard after the rough early start, he turned the Blazers around. Wallace inside, and they're going to call the offensive foul against Rasheed Wallace.
And Rasheed Wallace and Bonzi Wells, their 2 highest scorers this year, are going to need to get on track. Together, they're 0 for 7. They're going to need consistent production on the road. You can't think that a Zach Randolph and a Damon Stoudemire are going to travel their game as well as they played at home the other night. Those 2 guys are going to have to come up big.
And Bradley from the corner wide open with his first point. Plus, Wallace is averaging only 5 rebounds, and I think the Trailblazers are going to need more from him in that department as well.
Exactly, and that's one of the problems with him being on the perimeter, shooting perimeter jump shots, is that he's not underneath on the backboard. I think he's best in the low post. Sometimes he has to drift to the three-point line.
Here is Finley with the reverse layup. So the block shot underneath, resulting in another transition basket for the Dallas Mavericks, who have opened up a 9-point lead early on, and that's exactly what this capacity crowd had wanted.
Great transition opportunity. Nash did a good job looking off Nowitzki and hitting Finley as the trailer. Boom, reverse layup, and they're up 9. And here we have a look at Michael Finley, who had been averaging only 11 points per game in the playoffs. Coming in, the first 2 plays run through by Don Nelson, 2 layups. Then he knocks in a 3-point shot off a second shot. And then up fakes Bonzi Wells and banks it in. Finley is off to a tremendous start, and that's got to make Dallas feel good, not only about tonight, but going forward, that he's back healthy and confident. They're going to need him if they are to not only advance tonight, but advance further in the playoffs.
And getting a lot of support by Steve Nash, who had more turnovers than assists in Game 4, but already has assisted on 5 baskets for the Mavericks. Inside, losing the ball, and held underneath is Zach Randolph. And Rafe LaFrentz with the foul. Dick Bavetta working along with Ken Maurer and Scott Foster, the officials tonight in game number 5.
Again, Dallas is in their 2-3 matchup zone. What has hurt it before is some passing and cutting and movement. Right now, you see the Blazers content to swing it along the perimeter. They need to get passing and cutting and then dribble penetration.
You brought up a good point. On the road, you're going to have to play extra aggressive inside and not settle for the perimeter shot. That's not their game.
No, they've got to have that thing at the basket. And again, here, another launch at the shot clock buzzer.
Stoudemire missed, but another offensive rebound. Bonzi Wells looking inside, but it's also tough to find the cutters against 3 7-footers inside for Dallas. Way off is Stoudemire for 3, and Bradley getting the rebound. Nash, the double team and the switch. Here is Nowitzki, left-handed shot, knocked off the rim. The Mavericks have had many good chances inside and have not converted. Bonzi Wells to Davis. Dale Davis feeding Randolph and knocked away, and the foul will be against Michael Finley. That'll be his first foul.
Excellent extra pass by Dale Davis. He could have taken the 15-footer or then the pull-up off the dribble. He decided to drop it off to Zach Randolph, and Randolph is going to get himself to the free throw line. The one problem with the Portland team on the floor that starts big against the zone defense, they don't have any knockdown jump shooter. Makes it very difficult to be consistent against the zone.
Live TNT NBA Spanish language feed is now available via SAP. Zach Randolph, who had a total of 15 points before his 25-point breakout, along with 15 rebounds. He's shooting 52% from the field, making the free throws to cut the Dallas lead to 15-8 as we get close to 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Nash in the lane, and now Bonzi Wells playing Finley a lot tougher on the perimeter. 6 on the shot clock, knocked away, recovered. Finley open for the moment, and Wallace getting the rebound. So Portland trying to come back here in the later stages of this first quarter, and Wells' pass thrown away, and the Trailblazers turn it over. Portland so far in the game hitting only 3 of 17 from the field, and a timeout with 2:48 remaining in the first quarter. The Mavericks by 7.
Very, very well, except for those first 2 plays against Finley. Offensively, they're struggling. Turning it over, not making shots, not even getting at times quality shots. They're going to have to play well at both ends to have a chance to advance.
Eduardo Najera enters the lineup for the Mavericks, and they're going to call Wallace with his second personal foul. And Jeff McGinnis makes an early entry into the game for the Trailblazers. McGinnis playing only 4 minutes in the game number 4. And sitting down will be Damon Stoudemire. And also checking in is Ruben Patterson.
Wallace has 2 things Scottie Pippen's at. Normally, if Pippen was healthy, he'd be obviously coming in for Stoudemire. Obviously, Cheeks doesn't think he's healthy right now, thus went with McGinnis.
Nash dribbling the ball off his leg, recovers nicely. 3 on the shot clock. Open is LaFritz. He's going to fire from 3. He's tough there. And getting the offensive loose ball was Finley. Nash trying to get on track. He still can't. And Dale Davis out fighting Nahara and LaFritz for the rebound. Nash 0 for 5, so continues to struggle. He missed all 4 of his shots on Sunday. Under 2 minutes remaining, and a tough pass in from Wells to Davis, and Zach Randolph with the basket, and it is now a 5-point Dallas lead.
There's guys like Randolph in this league who, if they get the ball up on the rim.
Foul is Randolph, and making sure no one gets hurt as he kind of grabbed Finley.
There was no flagrant foul there.
No.
Randolph did a good job of trying to hold him up. He just fell down a little bit. But I was saying about Zach Randolph, there are guys in this league, when they get the ball up on the rim, who have such good touch that they always get the roll. And then there's other guys whose ball is a hard ball and it usually bounces out. So Randolph just has a knack for scoring. A little undersized, but if he can get that little space with his left-hand jump hook, get people off of him, he gets that ball in the basket. He's an excellent scorer. I think he's going to have the ability, as time goes on, to start in this league on a consistent basis.
Well, he wants the ball. I mean, and you want to have that kind of mental attitude. And you're right, every time it hits the rim, there's always a chance it'll go in, and others, it won't be that way. As you look at Michael Finley on the free throw line, he makes both free throws. Nash going to the bench, and Nick Van Exel, who is averaging 13 a game, one of the 4 double-figure scorers in the series for the Mavericks, replaces him. And Nash did not score. Missed all 5 of his shots. Pass inside, knocked away by Nowitzki, and re-stolen by Wells. And Davis with the fake and shot, and Dale Davis very quietly having an outstanding series for Portland.
Dale Davis, we competed against him when I was with the Knicks and at Indiana. There was no harder competitor. Very good defender on the board and played big in big games.
As he has done here, as Jeff McGinnis reaching in, called for the foul. Mavericks leading by 5 with 1:09 remaining in the first quarter. And Nick Van Exel going to the free throw line. Van Exel shooting 40% from the field and struggling from threes as well, but he can explode at any time, as his scoring in points have gone up in each of the 4 games.
When you're playing aggressive defense like Portland is, especially against this very good shooting, free throw shooting Maverick team, you have to be very aware of your penalty situation and fouling out on the perimeter. You don't want to put them to the line. They were the #1 free throw shooting team in the NBA this year, shooting over 80%.
Antonio Daniels, number 10, you saw coming into the game. So it's Daniels, McGinnis with Patterson, Randolph, and Dale Davis for the Trailblazers in red, and running into a crowd, and it'll be a Dallas foul. Both teams in the penalty, and Dirk Nowitzki reaching in, and now deciding who that foul was on. And it was on Nowitzki, his first, with under a minute remaining in the first quarter, and Ruben Patterson stepping to the line.
And this is one of Portland's major weaknesses, their free throw shooting. They're only shooting 70% in the series from the free throw line.
And Patterson, a 63% shooter during the regular year, gets a head pat of encouragement from Antonio Daniels. So Scottie Pippen, who was in a business suit and coaching the last couple of games in uniform tonight. He's been working on the stationary bicycle, but bypassed thus far by Coach Bo Cheeks. Patterson 1 out of 2, and it's a 19-13 game. Dallas in front. Looking inside for Nowitzki. Good pass by Van Exel and a hard foul as Nowitzki, all 7 feet of him, fouled by Davis, goes down hard.
Good entry pass by Van Exel. Davis had the shot blocked. I thought if he didn't wind up and follow through so hard, but this is a hard foul, and he's going to make Nowitzki earn him at the line. Dirk giving a look of disgust, Dick, I think.
I know, it's, what are you doing out here? Nowitzki has been brilliant from the line, 29 of 33 free throws in this series, and Arvydas Sabonis, who did not play because of back spasms, he was a late scratch in game number 4, replaces Dale Davis, who goes out with 6 points and 4 rebounds. Sabonis with 2 free throws, 8-point Maverick lead, or Nowitzki that is, as Sabonis going down in one of the veteran centers, age 38. Coming back after leaving the game for a year. Here is Ruben Patterson's strong move to the basket.
And if you're Nahara, you've got to know he's a driver. You can't be getting beat off the dribble by Ruben Patterson from 18 feet. You've got to be able to make that jump shot to bring you out of the paint. Poor scouting report defense by Nahara right there.
Slim differential between the game clock and the shot clock, as you see. And here is Nick Van Exel, hounded by McGinnis. Finley is going to be open for a 3, and the rebound, Patterson has it and fires it up, and that'll do it. The Dallas Mavericks, despite shooting 33% from the field, leading practically all the way in this first quarter, and Michael Finley, who's been struggling with 13 points in the first quarter, as the Mavericks try to close out this series in 5 games. So after 1 at the American Airlines Center, the Dallas Mavericks lead the Portland Trail Blazers 21-15.
Every call I make, I try to get right.
I understand.
Okay? It's a foul. It's a 2-shot foul.
I understand.
Please sit down. I'm talking to your coach. I think he mistimed it, in my opinion. In my opinion.
What about the other 2? They all missed timing?
That's why I love Dick Bavetta. Diffusing a potentially volatile situation with humor, but everyone knows he's in control. I could never stay mad at Dick Bavetta when he made a call. He is one of the top officials, if not the top official in the game today.
And how many times has Don Nelson tried to talk to Dick Bavetta in that situation? 2 of the most experienced people in what they do in the league. Sabonis driving in the paint is fouled by Nick Van Exel as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton along with Jeff Van Gundy and Craig Sager, the Trailblazers, with Sabonis at center and Patterson and Randolph up front, and in the backcourt it is Daniels and McGinnis. So Portland going deep into their bench here and giving their starters a breather. I mean, Bonzi Wells, for example, played all 48 minutes on Sunday night. Sabonis missing the first from the line.
But I like the play by Maurice Cheeks coming out of the timeout. He got it to Sabonis. Sabonis is going to play limited minutes. He's such an offensive force in the post. He's either going to score, get a quality shot, or force a double team and make a play for someone else.
Here's the pick and roll to Nahara, gets another chance and makes the most of it.
That's bad pick and roll defense. Nahara pick and roll, got all the way to the rim, and then followed it with the second shot. Portland's got to get their pick and roll defense together.
Here's Ruben Patterson, and it's tough in the lane against the collapsing Dallas zone. Here's McGinnis with a good spin move, and Jeff McGinnis, the former Clipper, who maybe hasn't delivered exactly what Portland wanted, but contributing early here. Van Exel, and now Daniels. Good feed to Zach Randolph for the basket, and Portland coming with 2 in a row, narrows it to 3.
Good decision by Antonio Daniels. Didn't throw it ahead to Patterson. Waited, made the right decision to Zach Randolph, who is a very good runner of the floor for a big man.
And Sabonis, now McGinnis back on Van Exel. 9 on the shot clock. And here is Finley. Ball knocked away. Ruben Patterson nearly had the steal, and it is out of bounds. Still, Mavericks ball with 5 on the shot clock for Don Nelson.
McGinnis is a good mid-range jump shooter, good finisher going to the basket. That time, a left-to-right spin. Excellent finish by McGinnis.
Finley with a fake on Daniels and misses at the buzzer. And here's McGinnis cross-court to Patterson. And Ruben Patterson going in and scoring. And the Portland Trailblazers are playing Dallas Mavericks style and have come back to within 1.
Again, they've gotten a huge jolt from their bench of energy with McGinnis, Daniels, Patterson, and Sabonis playing much better than the starting team.
And the ball stripped away from Nowitzki, and they'll call the foul. The hack was on the arm. Don Nelson has seen the Dallas Mavericks record a better record in each of the last four years, and winning 60 this time around. So Nowitzki will go to the line, and the foul is on Patterson.
I'm not sure that was a foul. The hand is part of the ball. Nowitzki's shaking his hand. I think Patterson ripped through his hand to get to the ball. I think that was a clean steal.
Free throw ends a 9-2 run, and Steve Nash quickly gets back into the game. Nash, who was brilliant in the second game of the series with 28 points and actually was the key, getting the key basket down the stretch in the 4-point victory, comes back in, replacing Finley. Nowitzki practically automatic from the line. The Mavericks perfect tonight, 8 for 8, and up again by 3.
Again, I think Sabonis needs to touch the ball in the post on almost every possession he's in the game.
LaFrentz fronting Sabonis, trying to work the ball around to find him, and losing the ball was Patterson. And the foul called against Ruben Patterson, preventing the fast break. That'll be his second as we send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, Dick, earlier you were talking about Steve Nash went 0 for 5 in the first quarter. He has not scored since 9 minutes and 5 seconds ago in Game 3. That 9 minutes, the 48 minutes of play in Game 4, and the 12 minutes here, that's a span on the clock covering 3 games of nearly 70 minutes, and Steve Nash has not scored a field goal.
In fact, you want to look at it since the last 2 games, and now the third, 4 for 21 from the field for Steve Nash. So he is ice cold after his brilliant effort. Randolph leaves, and coming back in is Rasheed Wallace, who has not scored for the Trailblazers, picking up 2 early fouls. And Daniels, the assignment of defending Nash out on the perimeter. Here's Nowitzki, big size advantage on Bonzi Wells. They fake the double team. Here's Van Exel finding an open space, and the Mavericks come right back. They're up by 5.
Very difficult shot by Van Exel. Good pull-up. Had to shoot it over the 7'3" Sabonis.
And all Bo Cheeks wants is to get another victory. He can't get 4 at one time, and we know it's never been done to come from 3-0 back. They're going to have an offensive foul called against the Mavericks. I'm trying to think, have you ever been down 3-0?
No, I haven't, thankfully. That's obviously an unenviable disadvantage, but I like Portland's mentality. They're coming out playing aggressively. I just don't know if they have enough offense to withstand a better Dallas effort.
And I think Bo Cheeks knows they don't have the offense. That's why they've got to get it done by crashing the boards, playing aggressively, and defense as Nowitzki trying to grab his own pass before it goes out of bounds. And the traveling violation turns it over. And a timeout with 8:49 to go in the half. Dallas by 5, but the Trailblazers scrapping once again.
Trials are inherently dramatic.
You're going to see a case from beginning to end.
Now, cable's only destination for Law & Order.
TNT.
See it weeknights on TNT. We know drama.
On Sunday, when the Mavericks or the Trailblazers came back from oblivion, the Mavericks feel that it was just a bad game, kind of an aberration. Dallas was leading by 3 at the half, but a 33-10 third quarter, including a 21-0 run, sparked them. And there you're looking at 2 all-star forwards getting off to a drudgery start, very slow start, but they can heat up in a hurry. as coming into the game, Nowitzki averaging nearly 35 a game, Wallace nearly 20.
They've got to get Wallace started somehow, and I think it's going to start in the post. He's got to have some touches down there so he can make Nowitzki work defensively.
No one underneath right now, everyone playing out on the perimeter, and Wallace now going down deep, and here is McGinnis getting his own rebound. David Stoudemire back in the game at point guard. So he and McGinnis form the back line. And here is Wallace, and the ball knocked away. Wallace looked like he could have gotten that ball with a little hustle, but the ball was turned over. And on the other end, the foul is on David Stoudemire. And Dirk Nowitzki headed for the free throw line once again. Nowitzki 4 for 4 from the line thus far. He has just missed 4 in 36 attempts, as Del Harris with a few words for Eduardo Najera. Log on to NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com for the exclusive 2003 playoff section featuring live post-game press conferences, photo galleries, video highlights, and more. Love it live on NBA.com. Antonio Daniels checking in for Jeff McGinnis, as Nowitzki 6 for 6 from the line in the game, and he has 8 points. Finley still leads the Mavericks with 13. Wells off the mark and tipped away by Van Exel, and another opportunity. Portland has had chances.
Oh, they're on the board. They're playing hard defensively. They can't shoot right now. They're not making any perimeter jump shots.
In a crowd was Stoudemire trying to throw the pass inside, and Sabonis lost it, and now LaFrentz takes it, and they're going to call the foul on Arvydas Sabonis. And Sabonis could have called time perhaps, but he did not.
A deflected pass by Stoudemire. Sabonis, great hustle, getting on the floor, and then as you see LaFrentz pursue it, a little trip, and that's a critical foul. That's their 4th team foul. Any fouls from here on out, Mavericks are going to be shooting free throws, and that's critical because they're such a good free throw shooting team.
Pick and roll, and it was Nash to Najera. So Steve Nash not getting the shooting game back for him, but certainly the playmaking is there with 6 assists.
And again, Portland's weakness, not defending the pick and roll.
Well, Stoudemire hitting the 3, so finally the Trailblazers finding something from the perimeter, and it's 31-25 in favor of Dallas. Nash inside, and Najera fouled by Antonio Daniels, and he'll go to the line.
Again, Nash, Nowitzki pick and roll, no help. He gets deep into the lane and finds Najera on the dish. They're going to have to do a better job in their pick and roll defense. You can't help, Dick, with an arm. You've got to help with your body.
Scottie Pippen is going to come back into the game for the first time. Dale Davis will join him, so Pippen, who had the sore left knee, scored 5 points in game 1 of the playoff, will be coming in. Scottie Pippen, 206th career playoff game, second to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as Sabonis goes out of the game, and Sean Bradley will come in for LaFrentz. So right now the Mavericks with Bradley, Nowitzki, Najera, Van Exel, and Nash. Trailblazers with Wallace, Davis, Wells, Pippen, and Stoudemire. Najera now with 6 off the bench. 8-point lead for the Mavericks with under 7 minutes to go in the first half. Stoudemire hit the last 3, misses this one. And a double foul, Wallace and Bradley, as Dick Bavetta steps between the two.
And that's a critical foul. Wallace cannot get hooked up into that. He's too valuable to the team. That's his third foul.
And Bradley's third, but Wallace's third really hurts Portland more.
Oh, Wallace is much more valuable to Portland than Bradley is to Dallas. And Bradley's always involved in these situations. He's got elbows flying. There, it's a block out. They're entangled. Double foul. I thought it was a good call by Dick Bavetta to try to keep control of a highly volatile matchup right there. Bradley's got his elbow swinging often. There, Wallace should not have taken that foul.
Wallace fined $30,000 for 2 violations of the NBA media interview access policies the other night. As Van Exel lays it in, it turned into a comedy act for many players around the league. And the biggest lead of the game for Dallas, 10 points. Stoudemire has hit 2 of his last 3 attempts from beyond the arc, cutting the lead to 7.
Let's see how Pippen moves. Last time Van Exel beat him off the dribble. He's got to be able to move to be able to guard people. And again, right there, Dick, not being able to move his feet, putting Van Exel to the free throw line, that's a good offensive play by Van Exel.
It's interesting, people say, when are we going to get, as we look at that play again, Scottie Pippen back in the lineup? But if you're not going to get Scottie Pippen back in any effective form, then you're better off without him.
Exactly, and I don't believe Maurice Cheeks wanted to play him tonight, but they were off to such a slow start, he felt it was worth the risk. But right now, it'll be interesting to follow Pippen to see if he can get loose, because 2 consecutive times Van Exel's taken him off the dribble.
Remember, this is not the same Scottie Pippen who sparked this team right up to the All-Star break.
Here's the layup right here where Van Exel, again, blew by Pippen. But right there, they have to get earlier help. That help is too late. Zach Randolph's got to be a step early rather than a step late.
First miss from the line after 13 in a row by the Mavericks. And this time, Wells from the perimeter out of bounds, last touched by Dallas. So Wells is in there with Davis, Stoudemire, Pippen, and Zach Randolph. Both Cheeks trying to find the best offensive combination right now with his team down 36-28.
Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by IBM. Taking business to the next level with e-business on demand. And McDonald's.
Dallas leading Portland 36-28. Scottie Pippen seeing his first action since game 1. Jeff mentioned he wasn't quite sure that Maurice Cheeks knew how to use Pippen, or if he would tonight. I talked to Mo before the game. He said, if I use him, it'll probably only be in a critical situation for a defensive stop. Apparently, he feels that this game right now is in the critical stage. Pippen, if you remember, had the surgery back on March 18th, but the problem is fluid in his calf. He has had it drained 3 times, and yes, since the last game, he again went to the needle, had it drained, trying to give it whatever he can here tonight. A big question mark, though, after playing with a fluid return at halftime.
Well, what kind of defensive stop if he has problems dealing with a player driving the baseline?
Well, I guess sometimes you need so much honesty from every player wants to play, but he's got to be honest with Maurice Cheeks and say, can I go and be effective or can I not? He thinks he can be effective, obviously. But what I'm saying here is how it's not easy to be effective after sitting out that long. These athletes are too well drilled to just sit out and then come back and play really effectively.
Pippen missing, and the offensive rebound by Davis, and he's fouled. And that's a great point because, you know, Scottie, in this stage of this series, it's very difficult to rev it up to be where you were before. Dick Stockton, Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager here in Dallas. Game 5 between the Mavericks trying to close out the Trailblazers. Dallas winning the first 3 games of the series. Dallas staying, or Mavericks trying to close it out. Portland staying alive Sunday.
Just to go back to that point, Dick, I think Maurice Cheeks knows this is a critical part of the game. They were down 10. They were struggling to score. They did not look fluid offensively at all. They've had problems handling the ball with 9 turnovers already, and they're only shooting 35%. So they have to have someone like Pippen on the floor to try to orchestrate the offense at a much more efficient rate.
Trailblazers cut the deficit to 1, 23-22. And now it's a 6-point game again, so Portland back in it the way Mo Cheeks would like. And Bonzi Wells called for the foul, and as Jim pointed out many moons ago, this team has been in the penalty for a long time. Well, if you're looking for offense, Bonzi Wells, who has 45 points, playoff record, personal record in game number 2, and Rasheed Wallace, those are the top 2 scorers for the Trailblazers. They have yet to score tonight, so 42 points between the two so far. Goose egg.
Exactly. Again, they're not going to perform well offensively. If they can't perform well offensively, Portland has no chance to put up enough points to win this game. Then at this end of the floor, the defensive end of the floor, they've got to realize they cannot make fouls on the perimeter or away from the ball. You're gifting points to Dallas, who's such a good free throw shooting team.
And speaking about goose egg, Steve Nash ends the goose egg with the free throw, but misses the second. And a 7-point lead with 5:20 remaining in the first half. Here is Pippen defended by Nowitzki. Tries to get it into Bonzi Wells, but he was fouled and comes up lame a little bit, grabbing onto his right ankle. And the foul is on Nash, 2 on Steve Nash.
The officials are discussing right now if that was a controlled shot attempt or if it was a loose ball foul. I think this is a mistake right here. I don't think he had control of the ball in a shooting motion, but the referees decided he did, and that's why he's on the line.
Now only the 13th foul against the Mavericks. That's why it was important they're not in the penalty. And Bonzi Wells on the free throw line. His first attempt there. Michael Finley checking back in for the Mavericks. He is their leading scorer with 13 points, replacing Steve Nash. Nash with only 1 point tonight. Bonzi Wells with the huge 45-point game in game 2, game in which Portland lost. 1 out of 2 for Wells. The lead is 6 for the Mavericks. Van Exel with Nowitzki, LaFrentz, Finley, and Nahara for Dallas. Finley double team for the moment, and Davis won't let him try the 3, but LaFrentz at the free throw line gets his first field goal tonight.
You have to respect LaFrentz's three-point shooting ability. Twice in that possession, he put the ball on the floor. Good decision by LaFrentz. 8-point
lead. Here is Scottie Pippen, and Pippen getting his first points since game 1 when he finished with 5. Nowitzki looking to set a screen for Van Exel. Stoudemire fighting behind it, staying with Van Exel, and doing a good job of it, and a foul down low called against Damon Stoudemire. 2 on Stoudemire. And Nick Van Exel, who began his career with the Lakers, went to the Denver Nuggets. And he'll be shooting 2. Van Exel, point total has gone from 8 in game 1 to 12, 14, and 18 in Sunday's game 4.
I think you could easily make the case, along with Bobby Jackson, for Nick Van Exel to be the 6th Man of the Year award winner. He's had an outstanding year, and the biggest factor in him having an outstanding year is accepting his role, that he could still be a starter on many teams, but on this team, it's better for him to come off the bench. I give him a lot of credit for subverting his ego for the betterment of the team.
That wasn't always the case with Nick. 4:15 remaining in the first half. The lead is 8 for the Dallas Mavericks. Here's Scottie Pippen. And the offensive foul called against Pippen does not agree with Scott Foster's call. Portland Trailblazers have been knocked out 5 of the last 6 years by the LA Lakers. They had dropped 10 straight playoff games, on the verge of tying the NBA record for most consecutive playoff losses before their 98-79 win at home on Sunday. Nowitzki off the glass, 10 points for Nowitzki. So Finley, Van Exel, and Nowitzki are the big 3 scoring-wise tonight for Dallas. And a timeout called by the Trailblazers.
Right there. Bonzi Wells went for a steal. You cannot go and gamble on steal and leave guys like Nowitzki open for wide open jump shots. Too tough to defend if you give them an open look.
Stay alive against the Orlando Magic tonight, led by 22 in the second quarter. Back comes Orlando. Tracy McGrady has 17 points, but right here it's Drew Gooden working inside, cutting the lead to 59-51. Still a load of time to go, Dick.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. Well, we know that the Sixers and Hornets will be playing a Game 6 Friday, and possibly the others as well. ESPN will carry the national broadcast schedule for Game 6s on Friday. Meanwhile, 3:43 remaining in this first half. Scottie Pippen replaced by Ruben Patterson. And the capacity crowd enjoying the Dallas steady lead. They've led all the way all season long. The sellout here. It is fun to come to an NBA game in Dallas. Wasn't always the case. There was a time they used to come with bags on their heads, and there were 10 or 9,000 people here. But it's an event now to come here. And in fact, they have sold out, Jeff, their last 71 games.
That happens when you have a good team and a great owner that understands marketing. They have the great owner in Mark Cuban. They have a great team that Don Nelson put together. And I'm going to just go on my soapbox, Dick. I cannot believe Don Nelson only got 3 votes for Coach of the Year. Greg Popovich, very deserving, won 6 games, but Don Nelson should have gotten many more votes than 3. Very deserving as well.
Randolph was fouled on the feed from Stoudemire. Well, 60 games. Is that good enough, though, to get some Coach of the Year?
The best record in the league along with San Antonio. See, Greg Popovich, 60 wins, 40 votes. How can Don Nelson only get 3 votes with 60 wins? I don't understand that.
And Eric Musselman is in our studio tonight, so not taking anything away from him.
Not taking away from anybody. They all did great jobs. I just don't see how a guy can win 60 games. If he doesn't deserve Coach of the Year, then he should win Executive of the Year. Because if he didn't coach him good, that means that he had great talent, that he's the one who put it all together here, along with Mark Cuban. I think he should have been considered for both of them, Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year. Now I've had my say. I feel better. It's been bugging me for a couple of days.
Got it off your chest.
I feel better.
I'm happy that you did.
Thank you.
It was a great chance to do it. They gave you a little time for you to do it, too. Action wasn't in. LaFrance beating Van Exel off the front rim, and Randolph getting the rebound. An 8-point lead, biggest lead tonight. The Mavericks had a 10-point lead 1 moments ago and earlier at 35-25. 3 minutes ago in the first half. Portland trying to find some offense, and there is a weird behind-the-back pass by Bonzi Wells, thrown out of bounds. I don't understand that.
You got to keep the game simple. Make simple plays. Take simple shots. Make simple passes. Handle the ball well. They already have 11 turnovers.
Wells 0 for 6 has 3 of those 11 turnovers. Here is Van Exel over Stoudemire, and hits Nick Van Exel very smooth, has 11. So Finley with 13, Van Exel 11, Nowitzki 10, and they're making up for Nash's inability to get much scoring tonight. Under 2.5 to play in the second quarter. Again, a 10-point lead for Dallas. Flashing to the basket as Wells. The basket counts, and the foul, his first field goal of the night.
That's where he's most effective. He is too tough for many small forwards and 2 guards because of his strength. There he gets an angle on Finley, takes the basket. He is an outstanding finisher because of his strength. He's almost like a power forward when he gets on the block or near the basket area.
And you like it when he's playing the 2-guard position.
Well, I think it gives him a matchup advantage every night. You can post him up. The problem with posting him with this Portland team, they don't surround him with great shooting.
Nowitzki had picked up the foul, and the ball last touched by the Mavericks, so the Trailblazers will get it again, and there is Jeff McGinnis replacing Damon Stoudemire. 2:18 remaining in the first half. An 8-point lead, and this is an important possession, really, if you think Portland has to hang in there in the game, although Wells misses from 3. McGinnis, another chance. Another offensive rebound for Portland in a crowd. Here's Randolph with the turnaround. And the offensive rebound by Wells. And loose ball again, and Nahara says enough of this. And finally gets it down. Portland with 10 offensive rebounds, but have not been able to score and shoot well. And the offensive foul, no basket by Van Exel. Offensive foul called against Rafe LaFrentz. That'll be 3 on him.
I love the courage to take charging fouls. If you have a team that's courageous and willing to step in and take charges, it permeates to the rest of the team the sense of urgency and desperation to win. Bonzi Wells struggling offensively, 1 for 9. You can do other things to help your team. Take the charge, get an extra possession at the other end.
Trailblazers out-rebounding Dallas. That's nothing new. In fact, the only game that Dallas out-rebounded Portland was the last game, the one they were beaten badly. Ruben Patterson out of bounds, and the loose ball foul. And that'll be called against the Nahara. Loose ball foul on Nahara, his second.
Portland's best offense tonight is just to miss shots and crash the board. They're shooting 35%. The only way they're scoring on a consistent basis is to miss, crash the board, get a second opportunity. Here, Zach Randolph earned his way to the free throw line because he did a good job on the offensive glass.
10 of 14 for the Trailblazers from the line. Want to remind you, coming up on the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report, EJ, Kenny Charles, and Eric Musselman, runner-up for Coach of the Year. Highlights and analysis of the Hornets-Sixers game earlier. Magic Pistons still going on, in a preview of the Jazz Kings, which comes up next here on TNT Game 5. So under a minute and a half to go.
I'm glad Eric can coach, because I'll tell you what, I saw him shoot off that ball rack. That was terrible.
He can coach. 6-point lead, and Randolph lays it in, and it's 45-41. So the Trailblazers putting together a run here at the latter stages of this first half to get back in this game. Van Exel picked up by Patterson on the switch. Van Exel hitting the 3. A big one for the Mavericks.
Very good response by Nick Van Exel. Very good defense by Ruben Patterson. He made him take a contested 3. Nick Van Exel's that talent. He can make tough shots.
Under a minute and a half. The lead is 7. It was 4. And driving the baseline, here's Patterson, who nestles the ball in to cut the lead again to 5. But the Trailblazers deserve a lot of credit. They're continuing to make Dallas play hard here, even though they were once down 3-0 in this series. Here's Nowitzki backing up against Bonzi Wells. And Wells getting the rebound.
Excellent defense by Wells. Didn't fight on the fake, put him off the line, made him take a tough shot, missed, and then finished it off with the rebound. And
McGinnis looking over to Mo Cheeks. What do you want to run, basically, he's saying. And here is Patterson trying to pass it in, hit the backboard, gets it to Randolph, out of bounds. Last touch by the Mavericks with 6 on the shot clock, and the crowd right around that play does not approve.
I think the Blazers have got to like where they're sitting right now. Wallace 0 for 4, Wells 1 for 9, and yet here they are with the possession to try to cut it below 5. They've done a very good job hanging in there, handling adverse situation tonight.
They don't go easily. Steve Nash checking in. Nash defending against McGinnis. Lost the ball with Van Exel. Plenty of time for the Mavericks. And here is the alley-oop to Nowitzki. So the turnover at one end and the 2-on-1 break at the other. And it's the 7-point lead. 3.5 to go. Van Exel making it tough for Patterson, and that'll do it at the end of the half. So the Dallas Mavericks withstand another run by the Portland Trailblazers and will take a 7-point lead to halftime. Randolph with 14, leading the way for Portland, and Van Exel with 14 for Dallas. Right now, let's go back to our Atlanta studios. Ernie Johnson. So now we get set for the third quarter. 10-point lead, the biggest lead in the game. And you see Nick Van Exel, 14, 12 coming in the second quarter, plus a big assist. And one time the Trailblazers cut it to within 1 point, and then the Dallas came right back. Steve Nash, again, having a problem. Only 1 point on 0 for 5 shooting, leading scores. Finley with 13. Van Exel 14 and Nowitzki 12 for Portland with the ball. Zach Randolph has 14 and Rasheed Wallace still 0. Damon Stoudemire picked up by Nowitzki. High arcing shot, a 2-point basket. Boy, that had to graze the roof over Nowitzki. And a technical foul called against Rasheed Wallace. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
I talked to Mo Cheeks at halftime, particularly about Rasheed Wallace going 0 for 4. He says it's a sign of encouragement, but he's also worried. He said we have to do something to get Rasheed the ball early so he can get a quick basket to get into the game. That obviously is not what he wanted to see. Rasheed picking up a technical right there. Meanwhile, Don Nelson says our zone is working. You can imagine that we're going to stay with it.
I would think so, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, the zone has been outstanding in the first half. And Don Nelson has multiple formations to his zone. For Portland, Wallace needs to get the ball in the block some. It's a little bit harder against the zone. They've got to find ways to keep him involved.
Nash made the free throw, his second point of the game. No basket. And the foul before the shot, and Nash now with 3 fouls. So Steve Nash struggling for the second straight game. And as a matter of fact, other than that 28-point output in game number 2, has not really had a breakout. Nick Van Exel picking up well for him.
And that's the value of depth. Having a Nick Van Exel come off the bench for 14 points and a half is a tremendous benefit that most teams don't have.
Another offensive rebound. That is 12 for Portland. Dallas has only 5, and Rasheed Wallace finally scores his first points of the game, coming and averaging nearly 20 in the series.
Dick, he has such a high release on his jump shot. He cannot be stopped in the low post. He may miss, but no one's stopping him because no one can affect his shot.
Nash missing again, and LaFrentz saving it. And Nash now driving in the lane. Stoudemire lost his footing. Goaltending is the call against Dale Davis, and Nash has his first basket.
So many of Nash's field goal attempts tonight have been off balance. He's got to get balanced field goal attempts. Here he gets one on a straight drive to the basket. That's goaltended. He's got to stay away from that step back shot right now.
Stoudemire fell down trying to keep up with him. So a minute and a half have gone by. 6-point lead. Here's Bonzi Wells with a high arcing shot, and the race for the loose ball won again by Portland. Here's Zach Randolph zigzagging his way in, and another opportunity, but can the Trailblazers take advantage of their second shots? Well, that time they do, but there's a foul before the shot, and Steve Nash picks up another one, so that's 4 on Nash, and that will send Wells to the free throw line. Want to remind you, Major League Baseball action returns to TBS Friday at 10 p.m. as the Atlanta Braves take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. And as always, Aaron Andrews will keep you up to date around the league from TBS Sports Control.
This is a very interesting decision by Don Nelson. 10-17 left in the third. Nash with 4 fouls, keeping him in the game. Some would disagree, but I think this is good. Try to get Nash going. If he picks up another one, you still have Van Exel's greatness to come off the bench. And
Van Exel has had a good game, so Don Nelson, this is a gamble obviously worth taking for him, the way this game is gone. 4-point lead for the Mavericks, and now we'll have a Trailblazers foul at the other end away from the ball, and that will be on Davis. That'll be a technical foul. So a technical called on Davis.
Dick, now here they are, down 4, possibly 5. 2 of them have come off, 2 of the 5 points in this half have come off of technical fouls. You can't give away points, particularly on the road, in any game, let alone a playoff deciding game like right now.
And there's Nowitzki. Nowitzki with the lay-in, so 2 technicals in less than a minute and a half. One on Rasheed Wallace, the other one on Dale Davis, and it's 56-49. 7-point lead. Randolph kick ball, and the clock will go to 14 seconds.
This was just a little handoff play. Very few guards can make that play off the dribble, let alone a 7-foot forward. That's an impossible guard if you are a power forward trying to guard Nowitzki out on the perimeter.
Stoudemire coming around the screen now has 10 points. Imagine the Trailblazers are down on the road by 5 with their top 2 scorers with a total of 7 points. Wells and Wallace.
And that was a great screen by Wallace to free Stoudemire up for that mid-range jump shot.
Here's Nowitzki and trying to stay with him. And it was a good defensive play by Stoudemire, who stepped on the line, and now Nowitzki looks to be hurt, holding onto his left shoulder. Dirk Nowitzki still on the floor, and Don Nelson's going to make his way all the way from the Dallas bench to check on his star.
Nowitzki drives baseline, gets a switch. Stoudemire looks like a clean strip, but the force of the strip looks like it may have hurt Nowitzki's shoulder. That could have been a call of foul on the bump, but that was a clean strip. The second time that's happened, that is an ugly, nasty looking injury right here. And Dick, you see it happened with Portland, injuries affecting the series. This, while it may not affect this series, could have the potential of affecting future series, and that is why when you have a chance to eliminate a team, you do it as quickly as possible to try to avoid any unnecessary games, because things like this can happen.
Exactly, you don't want to extend any series, and the Mavericks did not finish off the Trailblazers. I think they were shocked at how Portland did come out, because many times teams are down 3-0. They say, well, you know, we want to win, but we don't. You think we can, and psychologically they don't come up with the effort. Trailblazers came up with it on Sunday. Look like they're coming up with it again, and Nowitzki stays in the game.
And thankfully it's not his shooting shoulder, it's his off shoulder.
He has averaged 45 minutes in this series, and it's tough to get him out of there. Here's Nash, defended by Stoudemire. 9:20 remaining in the third. 5-point lead for Dallas. Penetrating is Nash with the runner, and the offensive rebound by Finley, working his way in for the basket. Went baseline to get the two.
Great effort on the second shot by Finley. Again, I think Nash right now, when he's struggling with that runner or the step back jumper, the ones that are off balance, would be better served to get on balance shots to try to get out of this little slump.
Stoudemire to a driving Randolph. Goaltending is the call against Bradley. And Zach Randolph now with 16 points. He is the scoring leader for Portland, who again creep to within 5.
Great cut off the ball by Randolph, and even a better pass by Stoudemire. That's how you can attack zone defense.
Mavericks only 2 of 5 from 3-point range, where they've had some spectacular games. Here's Nash having the ball stripped away by Stoudemire. The outlet from Davis to Stoudemire. Nash getting back effectively, and the pass down low, last touched by the Mavericks with 18 on the shot clock. Well, the big three of Nowitzki, Finley, and Nash tonight have 34 points. It's interesting that Wells, Wallace, and Stoudemire are almost the same in this series scoring-wise as the big three of the Dallas Mavericks. That's a surprise. 8 on the shot clock. Skip pass, Stoudemire. Nash blanketing him. 3 seconds now, and Zach Randolph has it blocked by Rafe LaFrentz. Nash again missing. Nash struggling, 1 for 9 from the field tonight, after going 0 for 4 Sunday night. Bonzi Wells blocked by Bradley out of bounds with 14 on the clock.
The last possession by Portland where Randolph got his shot blocked was poor execution against the zone. You've got to get ball movement against the zone, player movement, and penetration. They got none of the three.
58-53, the Mavericks leading here at home, trying to win this series in 5. Captured the first 3. Stoudemire looking for an open space. Damon Stoudemire now with 12, second behind Randolph, 16 to cut it to 3.
Stoudemire's played excellent basketball to start this second half, building on his Game 4 performance. I really like how he's responded to the challenge of Steve Nash.
And Nash picked up by Randolph on the switch. That means LaFrentz defended by Randolph. Portland doing a solid job defensively, and it's knocked away by Stoudemire. Recovering the dribble, lays it in, and it's a 1-point game, and Don Nelson wants to talk it over. The Portland Trailblazers, just looking for one more win to stay alive in the series, have a long way to go, but on a 6-0 run, they're trailing by only a point.
Stoudemire's playing excellent defense tonight against Nash. There he gets a steal, leads to a transition opportunity.
NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Hyundai. When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. And Jordan. What do you know?
They wasn't scoring at a high octane until maybe 3-4 minutes left in the quarter. So at one point we were still shooting the ball terrible. We were only down 5 points. But then I think from a mental standpoint, we kind of let down, and therefore defensively let down a little bit. And that's when they made their big run and got the big lead. But I was just thinking we're going to start hitting. Sooner or later we're going to start hitting, but it just never happened.
Finley, who has only 2 points since his 13-point output in the first quarter, and you wonder, they said, well, it's just a bad game. They may have to respect the Blazers even more the way this is going.
Well, I think from a coaching and team standpoint, you've got to have enough respect for the defense you're going against, but at the same point, not too much respect where you think they can dictate the action to you. So it's a fine line a team and a coach walks with how much credit to give the opposing team.
Well, we know one thing. Dallas doesn't have too much respect for the Trailblazers as Nick Van Exel replaces Steve Nash. Nash has scored 5 points tonight after going scoreless from the field in the first quarter. And Finley fouled by Bonzi Wells. That'll be second foul on Wells.
And Wells had done a good job defending before the ball got to Finley. Got him out to catch it near the three-point line. So right at that point, there's no need to foul. Give him some space, move your feet, stay out of the penalty situation for as long in this period as you can. That's only their first team foul.
And Nowitzki from Van Exel. And the Cutters are getting through as they did early in the game when Finley got the first 2 buckets that way. And the Mavericks lead the Trailblazers 60-57. Portland has yet to lead in this series. They have been trailing ever since. Stoudemire going high. He's having a big game, 16 points, and gaining a lot of confidence since he's had to carry the point guard duties again.
Doing a good job off the pick and roll, and give Wallace credit for setting 2 straight very good screens on the ball, which have led to openings for Stoudemire.
Van Exel gets one off the glass. Nick Van Exel matching him. He has 16 points. Nowitzki and Van Exel tied for the Mavericks scoring lead.
Van Exel, excellent one-on-one player, can shoot it over the top of the smaller Stoudemire.
3-point lead halfway through the third quarter. Game 5, Stoudemire. Davis fakes Bradley in the air, nearly lost the ball, and did out of bounds. Tried to save it on the pass and could not. So the Mavericks get it back, leading by 3 points. Stoudemire and Van Exel matched up in the point. They have played and come up big for their respective teams tonight. Finley finds Nowitzki, puts the fake on Randolph, and the rebound by Bonzi Wells. Blazers doing a terrific job off the glass as they've had through the series. Stoudemire lays it in. 12 points here in this third quarter, and Stoudemire has 18.
In the first half, we saw Wells go behind the back and make a turnover. That time, made the simple play. Nice bounce pass to Stoudemire. He could catch it and do something with it. Excellent play by Wells in the middle of the break.
And the 1-point game, and Dallas comes right back, not giving the Mavericks or the Blazers in position to take the lead. And 18 now for Nowitzki, and the lead is 3. Wallace with a chance to tie the score out of bounds, and it's last touched by Dallas.
Here Wells is in the middle of the break. Simple play to Stoudemire. Stoudemire goes in and makes a nice finish, but that play started with Bonzi Wells.
And there is Damon Stoudemire regaining the role as a starter, and the numbers picked up considerably. Defended by Finley on this possession. And there's Wallace, has it knocked away by Nowitzki, and they're going to call the foul in the act of shooting against Dirk Nowitzki, his third personal.
And Wallace is going to be shooting 3 free throws because that was behind the 3-point line. Getting back to Stoudemire, we'll go here first. That's a clear foul. Good call by Kenny Mauer. Nowitzki's a little frustrated because he hasn't gotten that call down at the other end. He feels like he's being fouled. So that was a frustrating foul. But getting back to Stoudemire, A player's point of view is always, if you give me more minutes, I'll produce more. A coach's point of view is, play well and I'll give you more minutes. So you're always going to see coach and player disagree on which comes first. It's the old chicken or the egg.
How many players have you had said, look, coach, I don't care how many minutes I play, I'll produce and I'll earn them later on?
That would be a 0.
Not even one guy?
No, most players just think the more minutes they get, the more they're going to produce. I can't think of one who says, you know what, I'm playing bad, I should have my minutes reduced.
What would you do if a player came into you, Jeff, and said, you know what, I'm with you all the way, I don't deserve the playing time?
Well, if they said that, or thank you, or please, I would definitely fall over.
Makes 2 out of 3. And it's 64-63 in favor of the Mavericks. So he had 3 tries, missed one of them. 4:39 remaining in the third. Van Exel turned. And he has 18 points.
Again, the pick and roll hurts the Blazers defense. Zach Randolph's got to show out more or trap the ball, but he can't let Van Exel turn the corner and get into the lane.
66-63. Here is Bonzi Wells, now picked up by LaFrentz with 6 on the clock, and the three-pointer by Bonzi Wells ties the game at 66. And the Trailblazers, who've never been behind by that much, just 10 points, but have trailed throughout this game. Here's Van Exel trying to untie it, and LaFrentz is fouled by Zach Randolph, it appears. It is on Randolph, and Rafe LaFrentz will go to the line. So the first tie of this game since the opening baskets that were 2-2. And here's Rafe LaFrentz and Maurice Cheeks arguing with Scott Foster over that call. Thought that Randolph had all ball. 2 on Randolph. LaFrentz makes the first. NBA.com has compiled 10 of the best shots in NBA playoff history. Log on to see the candidates and vote for the best shot on NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com.
With LaFrentz, I think he's spending too much time on the perimeter. I would like to see him go in the post. When he played with the Nuggets, he had a good post-up game, and I think that could help Dallas be a more balanced offensive team, particularly when they go into a playoff series and they have to get some low-post scoring.
And only gone to the line 7 times so far coming into this game, so he does not go to the free throw line much. And the offensive foul called against Bonzi Wells. That's 3, and being helped up is Michael Finley. Jim Lynam, longtime head coach and assistant coach in the NBA, one of the lieutenants for Maurice Cheeks. He's got a great staff around him with Herb Brown, Dan Panaggio.
Dan Panaggio, another Brockport kid, grew up in the same hometown. Dan Panaggio's dad was a very, very good college and CBA coach. The winningest all-time CBA coach, I might add.
Here's Nowitzki playing cat and mouse with Wallace and the miss, and so the Trailblazers have a chance to take their first lead of the game here with 3:13 to go in the third quarter. They were down by 7 at intermission. Wallace looking for Zach Randolph, and here is the pass inside, and Davis has it knocked away. Might have been Bradley to get a hand on it. Here's Nowitzki. Pump fakes, and Nowitzki blocked by Wallace, and the foul, and it was the body of Wallace. Wallace blocked the ball, but Jeff, I think he got the body in on him for his 4th personal.
Great dish. Davis goes up, just misses the dunk. No block, just misses it. Bradley, intimidating. He has a huge factor around the basket area.
Coming up next on TNT, will it be the finale for these two, Karl Malone and John Stockton? Maybe the greatest duo ever to play in the NBA. And they are playing in Sacramento, trying to stay alive, trailing 3-1, and there they are getting off the bus in Sacramento. John Stockton and Karl Malone for the big question. Will it be the last time they play as teammates in a Jazz uniform?
I know you're not supposed to root, but I hope they can get it to one more home game at least so the fans can give a more responsive ovation than they did the other night.
I was disappointed, and I know you were as well, when there was a standing ovation, but not what you would expect, what could have been the final game at the Delta Center for these two great players who really put their stamp. They are the franchise, and I thought this place would go wild, and they didn't, Jeff.
First of all, the fans left, and then when Malone comes out with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go, I thought the fans would stay on their feet for Stockton and Malone the entire rest of the game, chanting their names, and it was just very tepid. And I just don't think sometimes fans realize, even though you've seen them for 18 years, you may not see in the rest of your life any duo like that.
Right, and there were fans that were even making their way to the exits. They had several thousand lead. Anyway, the Dallas Mavericks on Nowitzki's free throw, lead by 3, 2:45 remaining, and a Dallas foul. And that will be a personal on Nahara. Sorry, that was a defensive 3-second violation. It was not a foul, but a defensive 3-second violation. Stand corrected, and Stoudemire will get a free throw and possession.
And Maurice Cheeks, like Don Nelson earlier with Steve Nash, is gambling a little bit here. Wallace has 4 fouls with 2:44 left to go in the third quarter. Oh, and he must have rethought his gamble because he just substituted Wallace out of the game. I thought it would have been a good idea to keep him on the floor and let him try to play through it and get going. Maurice Cheeks thought differently, got Ruben Patterson in, saving Wallace for the fourth.
He's just joined us, Scottie Pippen, suited up, played 3 minutes in the first half. Bonzi Wells with the jump shot to tie the game at 69. Trailblazers still looking for their first lead of the game, trying to stay alive, losing the first 3 games of the series. Huge effort Sunday at home. Can they win another road game to stay alive? Here's Bradley against Dale Davis, and Bradley works his way in for a big basket. Blazers thought he traveled, but the basket gives Dallas the 2-point lead.
I thought that was a very good composed move by Bradley, showing the ball, stepping through, shooting a little jump hook.
Zach Randolph driving around Bradley, and comes off into the hands with under 2 minutes to go of Sean Bradley. Van Exel for 3, and out of bounds. Portland ball, and Dick Pavetta now signaling that there was a foul away from the ball. He was in the right place at the right time.
Here we go, Bradley with the post move. Good use of his length, got Davis up off the ground. Bradley's not known as a post scorer, more of a perimeter shooter, offensive rebounder. There, though, did a good job on a set drawn up by Don Nelson to catch it deep and finish it with the score.
And Dick Pavetta saw Nahara, who claimed he was held. Wells with the air ball. Breaking out is Nahara. Stoudemire, the only one back with Wells. Great passing. And filling the lane, Dirk Nowitzki. 22 points for Nowitzki. Shaking his head is Mo Cheeks. And opening up a 4-point lead. Stoudemire from 3. And the Trailblazers rushing their shots after they tied the game and allowing Dallas to move out again.
There's no way Nowitzki should be able to advance the ball and then get a return pass and dunk without the other Blazers being back. You've got to make maximum effort in defensive transition. There they didn't, and then they followed it up with Stoudemire taking a no pass, just walk it up 3-point shot. 2 bad possessions in a row.
Portland not being patient at all here in the waning moments of the third. Here's Van Exel, and that'll drop. What a game for Nick Van Exel, and he has raised his scoring in each of the 5 games of the series. He's got 20.
Again, not bad defense by Stoudemire, except Van Exel could just shoot over, and he did once again.
Here is Wells driving baseline, can't make the layup, trying to tie it up, and a great play by Zach Randolph underneath to follow up with the basket. And at 75-71, that was a key hoop for the Trailblazers. Mavericks, though, keep coming back. Van Exel leading in, now has 22. So Nick Van Exel with 22 points in the game. And it's a 6-point lead for the Mavericks. Under a half a minute remaining at 17 on the shot clock for Portland. Stoudemire for 3, and Patterson had a great chance to follow up. and Nowitzki coming out with it. And a foul as Randolph and Nahara, and they're going to have a technical foul called by Dick Bavetta. Randolph and Nahara almost came to blows.
Nahara is the one Maverick that plays in their rotation that's willing to mix it up and be that type of physical, aggressive force. And they have really been missing that because they've been pounded on the board all game. Here they're just locked up, Nahara and Randolph, arms are flying.
They call Randolph for the foul and then a double technical against Randolph and Nahara. It'll be the Mavericks ball with 17 seconds remaining in the third. Playing for the last shot of the third quarter. Van Exel, defended by Patterson. Won't let him in, but Van Exel, and that'll do it. Well, the Dallas Mavericks had a 7-point lead at intermission, and the Trailblazers twice came back to tie it. They have yet to take the lead, and Nick Van Exel is a savior tonight for the Dallas Mavericks with 22 points, 8 here in the third quarter. And at the end of 3 here in Dallas, the Mavericks, 1 quarter away from moving to the second round, lead the Trailblazers 77-71.
Nick Van Exel had an excellent third quarter. He has 22 points and 5 assists. There he's shooting over Damon Stoudemire using his size. Turns the corner up the pick and roll with the runner. Then again, spin dribble, uses his size over Stoudemire, gets a nice bounce, and then finally shows the shot fake. And again, uses his size over Damon Stoudemire. Nick Van Exel is an excellent isolation basketball player. He can get his shot off against bigger defenders, but particularly against a smaller defender like Stoudemire.
And a number that should be added to that is that he has only 1 turnover in the game, which is terrific considering that Van Exel has played 21 minutes. Scottie Pippen, who played 3 minutes and scored 2 points in the first half, in the lineup as we start the fourth, along with Jeff Van Gundy and Craig Sager, Dick Stockton with you, as the Mavericks try to win, and the Blazers are a huge obstacle here in Dallas.
And you see Maurice's Cheeks' answer for Nick Van Exel to try to put a bigger defender.
Offensive foul called against, and there he was as Pippen took the charge from Van Exel.
He's playing, Cheeks has decided to go without a true point guard. Pippen is going to be out there. They're getting more size on the floor. Patterson has the task of guarding Van Exel, again, to try to make him score over a bigger defender. Very important move by Maurice Cheeks to trust Pippen to play well coming off an injury and to play Patterson, a bigger man, on Van Exel.
He's got that black sleeve on that left leg protecting the knee. 6-point lead, and Rasheed Wallace in the game has only 4 points. Feeds inside to Ruben Patterson against the taller Nowitzki. And there's Nash trying to guard Pippen, and Pippen smoothly hits. Well, Pippen has been around, I think, a few important fourth quarters in his career.
More than a couple. And you see Dallas now, downsides. They play the 2 point guards together to go against the size of Portland, and I think this gives Portland a better chance to cover the pick and roll. They're switching it now because they can keep size on Nowitzki.
And Jan Van Exel in the game at the same time, and a big basket by Bradley. He's hit a couple of huge ones tonight.
Not many people think that a 7'6" player can be a knockdown shooter, but Bradley is that, especially from the corners.
Pippen, nowhere to go, down low to Zach Randolph, but he sees Bradley. Here's Wallace from outside, and the rebound is by Dirk Nowitzki. So the imposing 7-footers make it difficult for many of the Blazers to put up the shots in the lane.
Randolph had an opportunity, except that Bradley was right there.
And the Blazers stood around as Nowitzki went baseline. Wallace and Patterson never moved as Nowitzki looked like he was in the layup line, Jeff.
A little confusion on pick and roll defense there. Van Exel turns the corner. Bad closeout angle by Patterson. No help. Nowitzki dump. Dallas up by 8.
is we had a personal foul on 50 and a double tech on 50 and 14, okay?
Who is that? That's Najera and Patterson?
Randolph.
Randolph.
All right, so let's go down memory lane here.
Yeah.
We have a technical foul Wallace, technical foul Davis, technical foul Randolph, and technical foul Nahara. Do I have anything else?
No. Wallace. I mean, Wallace?
I said Wallace.
I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, 410.
410, okay.
Okay.
All right, we got nothing. Let's
okay.
Go.
Yeah.
It's not quite Abbott and Costello who's on first, but at least everyone at home knows who the technicals were called on.
And that's good teamwork by the officials. And people at home might be wondering, well, why is it important? Because a second technical foul on any player leads to objection. So the officials want to know that. So if there's maybe a 50-50 time to give a technical as Wallace hits a jumper, do you call it or not? Well, they're not going to keep somebody in that deserves a technical, but they're going to be a little bit slower to give one out on those 4 guys who could be ejected and have their season end here in a last game situation.
Yes, it's good to be aware of it, to make sure if you call it, make sure it's deserved. Here is Nahara driving from Nash and a foul. Well, the Trailblazers tied the game at 69 and 2:34 left in the third, and since then the Mavericks have outscored them 14-6.
Here was a Nash-Nahara pick and roll. Great pocket bounce pass by Nash to a finishing Nahara, and one on Sabonis. The whole problem right there is the rotation on the pick and roll is too slow. It has to happen before the pass is completed. If you wait till the catch, Dick, he's already up at the rim. Sabonis has got to be there 1 step early instead of 1 step late.
Well, why are the Trailblazers having so much problems knowing they were going to see the pick and roll this entire series, having problems every game with it?
That's a coaching dilemma right there. Sometimes there are no good answers for a difficult question.
And Bonzi Wells scoring. Bonzi Wells with 12 points in the game. By the way, the Mavericks have played just 7 players tonight, and Dirk Nowitzki has not gone to the bench. 6-point lead, the offensive foul called against the Mavericks, and it'll be against Nash. 5 on Steve Nash tonight.
Very good individual perimeter defense by Wells. Moving his feet. Nash uses the off arm to discard Wells. A misconception is that you have to have both feet stationary to draw an offensive foul. Not true. You're entitled to your space. Nash created the contact, therefore an offensive foul.
And Wallace looking for the foul after getting the basket, so Rasheed Wallace hitting his last 2 shots from the field, cutting the lead to 4.
And he's gotten into the post, Dick, and that's where he needs to be.
And Nash with the easy layup. No one picked him up. And again, a 6-point lead.
Again, Sabonis is late on the help rotating over. Right now, Sabonis has got to be early and protect the basket. Forget your man, stop the ball.
Nash has 7 points on 2 for 10 shooting. And Bonzi Wells, and here's Nash. Blazers get back defensively. So Nash going wide open. Nowitzki in rhythm. Dirk Nowitzki now with 26 points. He has played the entire game, even with a shoulder injury that knocked him down in this game. And Nash not scoring tonight, but has 10 assists. Nash won't let Wells try the 3. And Nahara doing the same with Wallace, forcing it inside to Ruben Patterson for the basket. 4 minutes gone by here in the 4th quarter, and the Mavericks leading by 6, trying to eliminate the Trailblazers in 5.
Very good pass by Rasheed Wallace against the zone.
Van Exel in the corner. LaFrentz, good 3-point shooter, and it's tapped out. Wallace was late getting over there, and Nowitzki finally getting it out with plenty of time on the shot clock. Van Exel with 22 tonight. He has become the 2nd top scorer behind Nowitzki's 26. 5 on the shot clock, shooting over Pippen, a 3 for Nick Van Exel, his 2nd of the game. The 3rd for the Mavericks to open up the 9-point lead.
They made Portland switch, got Pippen on Van Exel, and then Van Exel knocked Pippen back with the dribble move and pulled up and shot the 3.
Pippen looking inside to Wallace, and he was held by LaFrentz, it appeared.
Here was the switch of the pick and roll. Van Exel, boom, backs Pippen up. Pippen doesn't have any elevation off that leg. Therefore, Van Exel got the clean look, and he has just been huge the entire game to make up for Nash's subpar effort.
And as we said, he has gotten better in every game. And there you see Van Exel with 25, one behind Nowitzki. Nash with only 7. Finley with 15, 13 of them in the first quarter. So this is a team that needs 3 good scorers. And normally it's Nash there. And Nash didn't do it in the last game. But Van Exel has come up big as Arvydas Sabonis goes out, replaced by Dale Davis. Last foul was on LaFrentz, his 4th. 6 on the shot clock. And Portland's got to hurry to get into something on offense. Pippen with a long-range shot. Patterson with the offensive rebound. Feeds Bonzi Wells. Misses the layup. Big opportunity by the Trailblazers, who will keep possession of the ball to the dismay of Mark Cuban.
Pippen takes a desperation 3 at the end of the shot clock. Again, the zone, one of the main problems with the zone is rebounding responsibilities there. Patterson, good job, dished it to Bonzi Wells. Wells just missed a point-blank layup.
Here's Pippen working around Nash and feeding Dale Davis. And the layup cuts the lead to 7 for Dallas.
Against the zone, good dribble penetration by Pippen and a nice dish to Davis. And Davis did a good job catching and finishing in traffic.
This is a spirited game 5. And again, you've got to give credit, whether they win or lose, to the Trailblazers for playing very tough against this team when they had the 3-0 huge mountain to overcome. Here's Nowitzki with the turnaround. 28 for Nowitzki, who twice in the series has gone over 40 points. 46 in game 1, 42 in game 3. Pippen for 3, and he hits Portland only 4 for 19 from beyond the arc, and that'll cut it to 6.
That's probably too many threes for Portland to take, since they're not a real good three-point shooting team. The more they're going at the basket, the better off they are. Again, the Nash-Nowitzki pick and roll is hurting them. On the switch, Wells has got to do a better job guarding Nowitzki. Last time he left him uncontested for the jumper.
6 on the shot clock. Van Exel, a very long 3. And Nahara with the long rebound in the corner, saves it for Nowitzki. And Dirk Nowitzki has hit his last 5 from the field, and he's got 30 points.
Nowitzki makes that pull-up jump shot look easy. It's the most indefensible shot in the game. 2 hard dribbles, balance stop, and then he just shot it over a retreating Rasheed Wallace.
8-point lead with 5:05 remaining in the 4th. Scottie Pippen, and the offensive foul called against Pippen. And right now, this game is at a critical stage because the Dallas Mavericks, with a chance to open up their biggest lead shortly, Nowitzki, of course, the key. 5 in a row from the field, and it's 94-86 Dallas. 5:04 left in regulation. Here's tonight's Budweiser headlines. Hornets bring their lynch box and hang in there in the series. Stockton and Malone's swan song. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, John Stockton. Yes. Jazz and Kings next on TNT.
It's a good play on words right there. I like that.
Mavericks are 8 for 10 from the field this quarter, Jeff. And they have always said that if they're hitting the shots, they see success. If they're struggling, as they did in the last game in Portland, it's another story.
But Maurice Cheeks was asking his players at the timeout, are we going to defend? He kept saying, are we going to defend? They've got to defend. You cannot leave these people uncontested. A hand has to be contesting each shot. They've got to solve the pick and roll.
Under 5 minutes remaining. 8-point lead, and the Mavericks can open up their biggest lead with a 3, match their top edge with a basket here, as the Blazers manage to tie it up with a couple of minutes left. A 3-point shot, air ball, fired up by Van Exel. Here is Pippen, bad knee and all, coming back to get a big 2. Scottie Pippen, the money player, showing why here in the 4th quarter with a bad knee.
And that was the response to Maurice Cheeks. They did defend. Pippen Wallace, excellent pick and roll defense, forced the long contested 3 by Van Exel.
6-point lead. Nahara swings it around to Van Exel for another three and another miss. And the rebound by Zach Randolph. So Dallas going for a couple of three-point attempts to try to perhaps put this one away, and they did not.
That was a good look by Van Exel. Good offense, good shot. He just missed a good look.
Here's Wallace for three, and he's got it. Rasheed Wallace. And only the 5th three-point basket. That's pretty good for Portland. And it's a three-point game again. The Blazers refuse to die with under 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Driving in and drawing the foul is Dirk Nowitzki. And still with plenty of fouls to give. And right now, with the score 94-91 Mavericks, let's go back and pick up Ernie Johnson in our studios. EJ.
All right, thank you, Dick. Karl Malone and John Stockton in the same position that the Blazers are in, trying to stay alive in the playoffs. And the other guy's gym. Game 5 of that series coming your way in about 14 minutes. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. Nowitzki on the free throw. Wallace picking up his 5th personal foul on that play. So far, no series has been decided, as Boston, Philadelphia, and Orlando all had a chance to wrap theirs up, and they lost with 3-1 advantages. And so Sacramento will try to wrap it up as Dallas will, and the Mavericks up by 5 right now. Team fouls, the Blazers 2 and the Mavericks 1. So far staying out of the penalty. Pippen double team. Wallace stepping back, 3-point way off, and they're going to call the loose ball foul. And it's on, let's see, Nick Van Exel, I think. No, it's on Nahara. Nahara with his 4th foul.
And that was a great bailout for the Blazers, because Wallace took a difficult 3-point shot, didn't hit the rim. Now they have a reset to 14 seconds, but they've struggled against short clock against the zone. They've got to get something going at the basket.
Bonzi Wells for 3, and it's a 2-point game once again with 3:19 to go.
Forget going at the basket. Shoot the 3. That's it.
Well, Wallace and Wells are on the mark. 15 points for Bonzi Wells, scoring late and nearly a turnover at midcourt. 10 on the shot clock as we wind down to 3 minutes to go in the 4th. Here's Nash feeding Nahara, and the shot is blocked, and Bradley's follow doesn't go, and the rebound by Wells. Under 3 minutes to go, and a chance to tie or take the lead for Portland. 13 rebound ends by the Blazers tonight. Here is Wallace, front end, and the fast break. Here is Nowitzki. And Dallas answers with a 4-point lead, and Nowitzki now with 34, hitting his last 6 from the field, and a 20-second timeout called by the Trailblazers.
And again, that was a rush contested 3-point shot that led to this bust out, advance pass to Nowitzki after he contested the shot, and a layup.
And now a full timeout called by Portland. We'll be right back. It's going to the wire.
Hey, bro. How was your day?
Try to quiet them, and he does. Bird attempting to break free, stays with it, and the foul is called.
This is a type of game of who's going to blink first.
Wilkins responds. Bird cuts free, left hands it for the field goal. That puts Mason Jones and the Celtics back on top.
And that was another spectacular finish presented by Armor All Whites. What a classic. Neek and Larry Bird.
That was one of the greatest NBA games I've ever seen. And our colleague Mike Fratello was on that Atlanta bench right there, and that was just an unbelievable series. Atlanta, if people remember, had a chance to close that out in Atlanta, didn't win it, and then Boston came back to win that thriller.
Great coaching job by Mike Fratello against a powerful Boston Celtic team, and he had him worried. There's no question about that. 2:31 to go. Each team with 2 full timeouts remaining, and each with 2 fouls to give. With under 2.5 to go, Bonzi Wells going to Randolph with the open shot and hits. And it's a 2-point lead again for Dallas.
Good response by Portland out of the timeout. They were trying to post Wallace. Saw that he was fronted and back. Swung it to Randolph. He knocked in the open jet.
20 for Randolph. So he has followed up the 25-point game with another big output as a starter. 7 on the shot clock. Got to watch Nowitzki. And Nowitzki, not this time, tipped out again. And it'll be another possession. Under 2 minutes remaining in regulation.
Tremendous defense by Portland, but you have to finish your defense with a rebound.
Nahara in the game for the Mavericks. 9 on the clock. Pippen defending Van Exel, who's had a sensational game. And here's Van Exel again. Tough shot. And a loose ball, and Randolph the rebound. Remember, Rasheed Wallace playing with 5 fouls.
That was great individual defense by Pippen. His contribution in this fourth quarter cannot be overlooked.
Chance to tie it up or take the lead. Air ball by Wells out of bounds. And his last touch by Dallas. And Don Nelson can't believe that call. Coming up next, the Jazz and the Kings, Game 5. Sacramento wants to close that out and move on to the Western Conference semifinals. And for the Jazz, the big story, will it be the last for Stockton and Malone as teammates for the Jazz? Trailblazers call the timeout. They have 1 remaining. We'll return in a moment.
Well, about 5 minutes and counting until the Sacramento Kings with Chris Webber take on the Utah Jazz and try to end the season for Utah. Kings lead at 3-1. Game 5 is on the way shortly. Back to Dick and John.
Thank you very much, Ernie. They're the 2 coaches talking to their teams and the panorama of the largest crowd ever to witness an event here at the American Airlines Center, 20,458. But what about Scottie Pippen? Your thought as a coach coming in when he did in the fourth quarter of this game, Jeff?
Misses 3 straight games, doesn't play particularly effectively when he plays in the first half, and Maurice Cheeks goes back to him, and I think it turned the entire game around. Their pick and roll has been better, and Pippen has contributed 7 points and 4 assists in this quarter. So, courageous move by Maurice Cheeks, and now here with 7 seconds coming out of the timeout, they've got to get something going at the basket or a chance for a second shot.
And the Trailblazers have only 1 timeout remaining, so they have to inbound this ball. They can't afford a timeout. Reset, each team with 1 foul to give. Here's Wallace, back to Scottie Pippen, and Pippen going back. Wallace for 3, and it's off the front rim. Gets another chance for 3, and hits! And for the first time, the Trailblazers are in front, 99-98, 105 to go. Wallace on his second attempt hits a 3, and a timeout called by the Mavericks.
And really the first 3 was much more open. That was a great look coming out of the timeout. And then this second one was more of a contested attempt with 23 on the shot clock, but he has such confidence in that shot, he knocked it down. That's an unbelievable 3-point shot right there to get a chance to get the lead. And Maurice Cheeks
will high-five anybody.
That's right.
He'll high-five anyone right now. And Wallace with 14 points all here in the second half, and he's playing with 5 personal fouls. The Trailblazers lead 99-98, and each team with 1 full timeout left and 1 foul to give. And the Blazers, amazingly, playing tough here in Dallas, trying to stay alive yet another time to force a 6th game.
Portland coming out of this timeout has to be ready to defend the pick and roll, the curl by Nowitzki, but the most important thing is Dallas shoots a lot of jump shots, and long jump shots lead to long rebounds. So the perimeter players for Portland must rebound the free throw area, give them 1 attempt, and then Portland must know what they want to run or if they're going to call a timeout if there's a miss or a make.
Well, if Mochik said, look, for us, we don't have the firepower that Dallas does, so for us it's all about defense. This is where they have to play it right here, right now.
You get a lead with 1 minute and 5 to go on the road. You have a chance to bring it back to Portland and really put the heat on the Mavericks. You've got to play your best defense when your best defense is needed, and that's right now.
Dirk Nowitzki with 34 points is the highest scorer in the game. Zach Randolph with 20. leads 5 players in double figures, with Patterson and Pippen each with 9. So pretty good balance tonight by the Trailblazers.
And an interesting substitution. You got Michael Finley coming in for Bradley so that they have more perimeter shooting to spread the floor. Portland's got to make sure they know their matchups, and they've got to make sure they rebound the basketball.
Finley, 13 of his 15 points in the first quarter tonight. Nash will inbound. He's got Nowitzki, Nahara, Van Exel, and Finley. Here is Nowitzki, the man you want with the ball. Feeding inside Nahara, it's blocked. Dale Davis looked closest to him. And the foul called against the Dallas Mavericks, and Scottie Pippen actually got a piece of it for the block. And they're trying to make the substitution and bring Zach Randolph in.
They got beaten off the dribble, but because of the length that Maurice Cheeks has on the floor, they're gone back to Bradley for the defensive end of the floor. If I was playing against their man-to-man right now, I'm posting Rasheed Wallace. 17
on the shot clock. The game clock on the bottom of your right-hand screen. And here is Wallace guarded by Nowitzki. Big possession, of course. Here is Zach Randolph going in. And Randolph fouled and will go to the line with 39 seconds remaining in regulation. Don Nelson is stunned at how Portland has come up big once again here.
Portland's playing big. They have Finley guarding Randolph, which is a mismatch. Rasheed Wallace did a good job noticing it, throwing it inside to Randolph, and now Randolph's got to knock in free throw.
He's 6 for 6 tonight. Still perfect. And Ruben Patterson will replace Dale Davis. Now that is a defensive substitution made by the Trailblazers.
Very good because, again, 3 perimeter defenders, so Ruben Patterson's going to be guarding one of the perimeter players, take Dale Davis out. The problem, who's going to secure the defensive rebound?
3-point lead with 39 seconds remaining, and the Dallas Mavericks call the timeout. It is their last timeout of the game. We'll be right back.
Johnson, Studio A in Atlanta. They are underway at Arco Arena in Sacramento. Scoreless, 35 seconds into the game between Utah and the Kings. Game 5 of that series will take you there after the Mavs and Blazers. Take it away, guys.
All right, Ernie, we have a thriller here in Dallas, and this crowd on their feet, but they're not cheering right now as the Mavericks come out. No more timeouts, and in fact, the Trailblazers have a foul to give. So things weighted their way, Jeff, with 39 seconds to go with a 3-point lead.
And if you're Dallas, you don't need a 3-point shot. You can go 2 possessions. You can get 2 possessions there. You want to go for the quick 2. If a 3-point open shot appears, you can take it. But don't settle for the 3-point line. You can score, stop, and score and win the game.
Mavericks led by 9 with 6 minutes left. They led by 4 with 2.5 remaining, and Portland has scored 7 straight points.
And Portland has that foul to give. If they're beat off the dribble, they should use it, but you don't want Wallace to.
Nowitzki, and the foul, it'll be a 2-shot foul, and that'll be 6 on Rasheed Wallace. So Rasheed Wallace, who has come up big with 14 points here in the second half, will foul out of the game. Scottie Pippen is our Gatorade peak performer because of what he has had to fight, coming back with a sore knee and all. 15 minutes, 9 points, 5 assists. You can't all measure what he has done in numbers, Jeff.
No, just having him on the floor to me is critical because he gives their defense an entirely different look. They can handle the pick and roll better. He can see over the zone defense. He gives them some penetration, and most importantly, he gives them poise.
And he's coaching everyone on the floor. He's going out there to give them all the instructions. Dirk Nowitzki, perfect 10 for 10 from the line tonight, trying to bring Dallas as he misses. Dirk Nowitzki has missed just 4 free throws in 43 tries in this series, and that one would hurt. And Damon Stoudemire will come into the game, replacing Patterson.
Now this is interesting. They have Sabonis on the floor for rebounding the free throw. If they don't take a timeout and they go to the other end and don't score, Dallas has no timeout, so when they push it back, Sabonis is going to have to guard Nahara or Nowitzki in transition.
One free throw, it's 101-99. About 8 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock.
And Portland wants to make sure they don't shoot early. Dallas has no timeouts.
Here's Pippen. Now to Bonzi Wells. Van Exel looking for the steal. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Wells with the turnaround. And it's tipped up and in by Sabonis. Arvydas Sabonis with the tip in. And it's 103-99. Time running out. Here is Van Exel. They're going to need a 3 somewhere along the line. And Nash will fire up the 3. And it's knocked away, out of bounds. Trailblazers ball with 8/10 to go. And they're going to do it as Maurice Cheeks, who had not won a playoff game before Sunday, now has won 2 of improbable games to keep the Trailblazers alive and send it to Portland for Game 6 on Friday. The final score, the Trailblazers 103, the Mavericks 99, and it is now 3 games to 2. So for Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, Dick Stockton saying so long from Dallas. Right now, let's join Matt Devlin in Sacramento for Game 5 underway between the Jazz and the Kings.
Thank you very much.